Welcome to this edition of Racing News. Coming up in the show, Scottsville laid out the red carpet recently as the speedsters came to town. We not only look back on the day, but also, are thoroughbreds which sprint any different to those which race over the classic or staying distances? We ask those in the know. But first, it's all eyes on the Vodacom Durban July log and the second declarations which were published earlier this week. Saturday, the 26th of May, saw 64 of our country's top sprinters literally thunder down the Scottsville Straight in what is known as South Africa's richest sprint race day.
This day is very important. I mean, we've made stallions here, we've made outstanding broodmares. Many of the horses that have won at Group 1 level as 2-year-olds have come back to win as 3-year-olds. Delago Deluxe comes to mind. He won both and he's now standing in stud in Australia. Warm White Knight won here. Seventh Rock won here. These are races that have made stallions, and I think it's a great test of a horse at this time of its career. Many will say, well, they don't always train on as 3- and 4-year-olds. That's the same for 2-year-old racing the world over. That's the same for speed racing the world over. But at the end of the day, it's a wonderful spectacle to see horses fly out of those gates, cavalry charge down the straight, and the best to win on the day.
Thoroughbreds are thoroughbreds, right? They're bred to run, but some are more suited to the sprints than the classic or staying races.
As a general rule, you'll find your sprinters are shorter coupled, fuller quartered horses, stronger through their shoulders, stronger through their chest, whereas your staying type of horses stand over more ground. They often tend to have a much better length of rein, more slope to their shoulder, which generally gives them a longer stride length. So
if we compare it to the Comrades runner, that's your stayer, and then the little gym bunny that goes to the gym, stocky guy, that's your sprinter. 50% of your ability is your genotype and 50% is your phenotype. The genotype is the genetic makeup, what you're bred with. So good breeding obviously gives you good genetics. And then the phenotype is the physical attributes of the horse, the conformation of the horse. So you can actually now, with the equine DNA being basically identified, they can now do genetic testing on horses, and you can test for sprinter ability and for stayer ability, and you can test for an elite gene. Okay. So that small percentage of horses that have got the ability to win group races. The muscle makeup in a horse is fast twitch and slow twitch, and a combination thereof. So in your sprinter, it's predominantly fast twitch, in your stayer, predominantly slow twitch. And again, that's genetics.
What about aerobic capacity?
well, basically you can sort of ascertain what sort of trip horses go over by doing post-exercise heart rate recoveries. You'll find your sprinters sort of 10 minutes post-exercise generally only recover to around about 90 beats per minute, whereas your horses that are going to see out a trip will often go below 80, which is an exceptional heart rate recovery.
Graham, what's the importance of sprint racing in the South African calendar?
Well, I think if you ask the Australians, they will tell you that speed defines the breed. And I don't think it's any different here. Obviously, sprint influences on the gene pool is very, very important. We've always had a very proud history of breeding really top sprinters in South Africa who've done well internationally. So I think it's very important that we test our sprinters at this level.
Rocky Valley's running on, Attenborough on the outside. Bold Respect reaches for the stars and he shines brightly, Bold Respect.
We always felt he was building up to group level from a young horse, and since he's been in Durban he's really thrived and he looked a picture today.
What are your plans with him from here?
Basically his job's done. He came here to win this and he's done it, so there's no more pressure, so we'll make the right decisions and decide what's best for him.
We asked Peter Muscat how Bold Respect came through his run.
Bold Respect's come through Saturday's win in great order. I've sent him out for 10 days to go and get his head down in a nice green grass paddock, and he'll come back and have a crack at the Mercury Sprint at the end of July.
Bold Respect was bred by Ascot Stud by Durban July winner Bold Silvano, Bold Respect cost just 200,000 Rand at auction for a return of just under 2 million to date. Dory Sham's faith in Pinnacle Peak was vindicated with another superb second in a Group 1, having finished runner-up to Attenborough in the computer form sprint.
Pinnacle Peak second.
Yeah, Michelle, thank you. Very, very exciting. You know, he's just been a revelation. As he's got a little bit older, he was a super 2-year-old and had a few issues. And since he came up to Joburg, he's just thrived. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that Craig Zaki twigs so well with him. Craig is just fantastic. He sits quietly, and Pinnacle can be a bit hot and fussy about gates and that. But Craig's just been amazing.
Neptune's rain is absolutely flying, but Somali's going to get there from Magical Wonderland.
TSOGO Sun Sprint Day is becoming synonymous with you.
Oh, well, gee, I suppose the gods are good to me. I've got to be sometimes. So, obviously, I've done some good in my life. The filly sprint, I've won a couple. But this one was a big one for me today because this filly's had her issues. Andreas just had the faith in saying, well, just take her back to the Durban and let's see what she can do. And thank goodness today he has seen what she can do. It's a great win. It's a great win because she's a really, really courageous filly.
Bred by Main Chance Farms, the daughter of VAR has now won 990,000 Rand. How has she come through her win?
Oh no, she's a hell of a good filly, Michelle.
When might you run her again, Dennis, or what are the plans with her?
Well, I've got to speak to Andreas, but there is 1 or 2 races in the pipeline. Otherwise, she may go straight to stud. We'll see what Andreas's feelings are.
Cue the Music is coming back at Van Halen. Van Halen just won it from Cue the Music.
Great to have a Group 1 winner for this set of owners. You know, Freddie van Wyk, Fito's been a stalwart with us. Rob and Susan, I mean, they would be been with us forever. And great to have a Group 1 winner for them, for, you know, and Alfred Pawson, the new guy on the block. And, you know, I'm sure Alfred's jumping up and down in front of the TVs.
Oratorio earned the attention of all as he not only sired Van Halen, but also the second-placed Cue the Music. Van Halen cost just 100,000 Rand at auction for a return to date of 600,000 Rand.
It's my second Group 1 in the sprint, so I'm chuffed, and yeah, it's just been a phenomenal season for me so far.
Celtic Sea catching the right wave home with In Barrage. Mighty High's flying on the outside. Mighty High got Celtic Sea.
Winning a Group 1 is something really special. We had the privilege of breaking our duck with Legal Eagle. To have another one so soon after is very special.
I used to be Mopcon's agent. We've had a good journey together, and for him to ride my first Grade 1 win, it's just like something special. Yeah.
Johan gave me the option of galloping her about a week and a half ago, and when I got off her, she did very good fractions in the gallop, and I just said, Johan, if I have to go for one horse, I'm going. And I came to the jock room and the guys were making fun of me. I said, I'm coming to fetch my cup and I'm going.
The past 2 weeks have seen significant changes to the Vodacom Durban July log. 3 of the top 18 were withdrawn earlier this week. It started with the announcement by Snaith Racing last Sunday that O Susanna would not be taking up her place. People would have loved to have seen O Susanna run in the Vodacom Durban July, but you've obviously got other plans for her, Justin.
No, not really. It's just you can't. The weight structure, you know, is against her, and the handicaps say, oh, but they cap it off, and therefore she's well in. No, because the rating is so high, you can't look at that. You got to look at the fact that she's a 3-year-old filly giving weight around to all the older horses, which is just not. We're not going to take that chance, unfortunately. So, and I'm stuck here with her. She can't go back to Cape Town, so we just look after her and wait for the summer season. She's done enough for any filly as a 3-year-old. She raced hard in the summer season in Cape Town. So theoretically, all we were looking for was at Will Avington, and she pulled it off. It was not easy, and nothing went her way. She went on the wrong leg the entire race. So for me, unbelievable win. She's a horse that, we see what happens in the summer season, and everything will be geared up for that.
I see you had her in a compression suit this morning.
Yes, because we're stuck in Natal, unfortunately with the horse sickness protocols and everything now, it's just become ridiculous, and it's very hard for us to move horses around South Africa. They're worrying about taking horses to the UK and Dubai and stuff, but we can't even move a horse from town to town. So unfortunately, I have to, she's so valuable that I just need to manage her correctly. All the feed has to change. The environment is not quite what I was hoping for her. This is a racing environment. I need her just to chill a little bit in a way. So I need to try copy that. So I want to make it as pleasant for her and try get her to relax now, so that then I can get her into training early in the summer season and just tick her over into the big races.
Of the top 4 finishers in the Wollavington 2000 last Saturday, just Fiorella is amongst the second declarations for the Vodacom Durban July.
Oh, Susanna just the leader and holds on to win it. Fiorella second, Lady in Black third and fourth.
Also out of the top 6 is Daily News 2000 winner Surcharge. Stuart Pettigrew told the racing public last Saturday that Surcharge would be put away until the start of next season.
He's won now in KZN. Where to next? Vodacom Durban July, considering that?
No, he'll rest and he'll come out next summer. He's done his job. He's had hard racing. We've got our grade 1. He'll rest now. You won't see him again this summer.
Whilst he might be out, 4 of the top 6 finishers in the Daily News 2000, Majestic Mambo, Do It Again, White River and Pack Leader are still amongst the entries.
Close for second, Majestic Mambo, tap on off, then Do It Again.
But the major changes don't just end there. Previous Vodacom Durban July winner Legislate impressed in his barrier trial at Scottsville for the selection panel to include him. But the race has just come too early for the horse who thrilled us all in 2014.
Legislate, winner of the 2014 Vodacom Durban July.
Justin, how long has Legislate been out of training?
Look, he was out for a long time, but I take it he was kept fit in stud. Look, the fortunate thing is obviously he came from Drakensberg, which is, their stallions are in such good condition. It made my job a lot easier. So doing very well, and he's still an absolute class act. Everything's come a bit soon, so we're just going to fire up later into the season. There will be he'll run in the post merchants, and we'll use that as see where we are with him, and then from there decide where we're going to go.
How long have you had him back in training for?
I've had him from halfway through the summer season. He arrived with us, and he only now he's starting to strip up and look like he did as an early racehorse. But there's just something about him. He's got that X factor. Not too many horses have it, and it's just amazing horse to train. And actually sad that he didn't get an opportunity to make it at stud in a way. We'll see what his baby's like. I mean, I sent some mares and they all got him foal, so it'll be exciting to see what happens. At the same time, he's on the racetrack, so we're going to have a bit of fun with that.
And he hasn't lost his zest for racing?
Not at all. He never recovered from, I think it was the drill hall, where they scratched him at the start when he put his leg through the back of the starting stall. But it wasn't just that. They made a call to walk in the entire race course. So instead of at the 1400 and walking him back, the back way to the parade, they decided to walk him the entire race with 2 guys on either side. When I got there, I rushed to the 1,000-meter mark to arrive there to see this horse absolutely dripping, stressed like I've never seen a racehorse stressed. And probably the most upsetting day in my racing career. I was very upset. It's taken a year and a half for that horse to recover from that experience. So this is the first time I actually seen him back to where he was before that moment, when he was a young 3-year-old before the Vodacom Durban July. So incredible. It just shows you time can heal any wounds.
As at second declarations, 38 of the original 69 entries have stood their ground, including the late entry by Snaith Racing of Lonsdale Stirrup Cup winner Made to Conquer.
Match, Made to Conquer's finding more though. Made to Conquer and Strathdown. Made to Conquer won it. Strathdown.
Made to Conquer won his first group race when winning the Lonsdale Stirrup Cup a week ago. Is he a horse that's on the up and constantly improving?
Oh, without a doubt. I've never seen a horse make so many jumps in the handicapping and still winning the way he does. But you know what? He's a dynasty. He's a proper individual. We saved him the whole summer season. He just kept winning. So we said, oh, this is a horse for the Vodacom Durban July. Let's put him away for the remainder. And we've brought him out here. The win on Saturday was proper because Strathdown had won 5 in a row. He just needed the Greyville 90 and everything went wrong for him. So he's also a horse. He'll be aimed at the Gold Cup. So proper horses. I mean, you saw how far back the third horse was. I think they were 7 lengths back. And they're not the worst horses in that race. So, and the good thing is we're so bent on the races over a mile and 1,400 qualifying horses for the Vodacom Durban July. But it's 2-2. And so many times we actually don't give the respect we should be giving to some of the horses going the distance, over 2-2, 2-4 and stuff like that. So here's a horse that gets every bit of the 2-4. And he can run. I mean, we've seen now, and he's proven at the track. I mean, that's the first time he's ever been to Greyville and he wins a Group 3. So all of a sudden, this horse has become a serious contender. You know, like every other horse in the race, he just needs to have a little bit of luck in running, and he'll run his race. I can tell you now, he'll be the horse that I think will be in the money, guaranteed, because he just always consider. I mean, how many horses win 6 from 7? So you can't ignore that.
Snaith Racing announced last week that Evergreen Jeff Lloyd will partner Made to Conquer. This in a bid for him to win the race that's eluded him for so long. It would be a fitting way to cap what can truly be described as a remarkable career. The withdrawal of O Susanna, Surcharge and Legislate may come as a bit of a blow to punters and the followers of racing, but it also means that it's opened up opportunities for others.
Michelle, yeah, it's very interesting. You know, it's obviously now with O Susanna, Legislate and Surcharge not taking part, it just opens the gate for a few others.
Yeah, well, I don't think there were any surprises. I mean, the Snaiths were warned everybody that O Susanna would probably not run. Legislate, definitely I knew wouldn't run. Stuart Pettigrew said that Surcharge wasn't a certainty either. So, but it leaves the way open for a lot of other horses to come in. I think Made to Conquer was a certainty to get in, and with Jeff Lloyd riding it adds a bit of interest. Guaranteed to run third anyway.
It's very exciting, very interesting. Also, what's interesting is that the operator is not going to be releasing another log, which I think is quite a nice idea. You know, it keeps everyone in suspense and keeps you wondering and just adds a bit more hype to the whole thing.
Do we have a number of horses who are grey horses or sitting on the fence at this stage?
I think there are a lot of them. This weekend in Joburg, the Pinnacle Stakes and the Jubilee Handicap, there are a lot of horses there, borderline cases. And also the Cup Trial, borderline cases there too. So I think this weekend is going to be a big sort of, cut-off for a lot of horses.
I think the two KwaZulu-Natal hopefuls, well, I say hopefuls, I should imagine they would at this stage get in Fiorella and Paul Lafferty's horse Dark Moon Rising. So it's exciting. But I think with those 3 good horses coming out, it does open the gate for some of the others at the bottom of the log.
This year it's very evenly matched. You know, if Coral Fever comes out and all the weights go up, then we're in for a really good race. Yeah.
What do you think is going through the trainers and owners of those horses that perhaps are borderline?
Well, I was with one of the shareholders of Dark Moon Rising this morning, and he's already asking questions, do you think, and how does it go, and should we get in? And
but part of the excitement.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you lose that excitement and that butterfly feeling, you know, that's half the fun is all that excitement and suspense. But it's going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, the July is a funny race. Even if you haven't got a chance, as long as the horse gets in, you can go to the lunches and everybody wants to talk to you. I think that's part of the mystique of the race, yeah.
No further updates to the Vodacom Durban July log are due to be published by Gold Circle. But important dates to take note of are the announcement of weights in 10 days' time on Tuesday the 19th of June. Final declarations close on Monday the 25th of June. And then the date everyone will be waiting for, the announcement of the final field and barrier draws on Tuesday the 26th. That's a wrap for this week's show. You can follow us on Facebook and YouTube for all previous screenings of the show, as well as news during the course of the season. We'll see you all again in 2 weeks on Sunday the 24th as we build up to the Vodacom Durban July.